Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha Henry and I create lifestyle, beauty, fashion, vlog content here on YouTube, and I hope you guys are ready for a fun hair tutorial. So I want to say thank you EAYONHAIR for sponsoring today's video. I was super excited when they reached out to me, and I'm super excited to receive this gorgeous hair. So I got 5 bundles of 22 inches, and I used every single last piece. Every single last piece is in this unit. I thought I would do something fun and show you guys 2 ways that you can install and style these. So the first way is going to be crochet on your hair, more so like the traditional method, and then the second way, kind of fun and funky, I decided to create this kind of half wig, kind of headband wig unit so that it can be easily installed and taken off, put back on, and then you don't have to worry about taking them out individually. So I showed you guys how to install these on your hair, and then I also showed you guys how I made this half wig. Now I did it in a flip over style, so I can kind of flip it over to the side if I like. I can flip it over to the other side. I can kind of like wear it in the middle as well. So let's get started. I'm starting out with bleaching my hair. I'm just gonna do a simple bleach bath, and I'm gonna bleach all 5 bundles. I do want to emphasize that 2 or 3 of the bundles I did try to leave a little bit of a darker root, just in case I wanted to crochet this into my hair and kind of wear my leave out. So I'm gonna use some hot water, I'm gonna use some Olaplex, and I'm gonna use some Wella bleach, and I'm gonna make that into a nice mixture, making sure that I'm mixing everything together. And I'm honestly just doing this super easy. I'm literally just dipping the hair and using my hands to kind of like massage the product in. I'm gonna dip again and then use my hand to massage everything in and make sure everything gets saturated and everything that I need to be covered is covered. So once I'm finished with the first bundle, I'm gonna just put that to the side because I don't have a tub that's big enough to hold everything. I'm gonna go in with the second bundle, and as you can see here, I do have some hair left out. Kind of split the bundle into 2, and this is what I got. Everything came out so nice, the color so even and so pretty. So here's our braid out pattern. I kind of just did a couple of braids across the front, a couple of braids across the back, and then the center of my hair is braided straight back. And then I'm just gonna put the ends right under this mesh cap. So let's get started with the install. So this is what the crochet hair looks like. It's not your traditional crochet that is just a strand of hair across. You do have this little thread that makes it easier and a lot less detectable. For the first row, I'm gonna go ahead and use a crochet needle. I find that it is easy to use, however, there's just a better method for me. So I'm sticking the crochet needle in, making sure that the latch is open. I'm gonna go ahead and hook on that thread, close the latch, pull the hair through, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the thread and make a slip knot. So you can either pull the whole hair through, or you can separate the strands and then pull 1/2 through. So I kind of go back and forth between pulling the whole strand through and splitting the hair in half. It just depends on what I'm comfortable with. But I also prefer using the looping tool rather than the crochet needle. The other thing I want to emphasize is you just want to kind of adjust as you go along to make sure that the thread is what's sitting on your hair and not the bulk of the hair. So I'm going to use the looping tool for this section, pull the hair through the looping tool, pull the looping tool through my actual braid, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up that section and pull the hair through and secure it onto my braid. And as you can see, I'm shifting just to make sure that the thread is what's on my hair. I also want to emphasize you do not have to stack these on top of each other. Once the hair sits, it spreads and you're able to get a nice camouflage look. So you don't have to bulk on and add so much hair in one section. I'd rather you go ahead and get your whole head covered and then have some hair left over rather than use a bulk of hair and then realize that you don't have enough to cover the front. So this is what it looks like with just one bundle, and I think I have a few pieces left. So it looks super full, the hair feels so nice, but you really don't have to kind of overpack this. I realized that I prefer something that's a little bit more versatile and removable, so I'm just taking these out, and look how easy it is to remove. You really don't have to fuss. You kind of just find the thread and then you just unlatch the loop. It's so easy. For the first attempt, I'm using this wig cap. I did realize though that the mesh on this wig cap is way too small to get my crochet needle through, so I found it very difficult to make my wig using this mesh cap, but I did like how sturdy this cap was. I then switched over to the mesh that I was using to protect my hair, and I decided that this was a better option, although it is very stretchy, so it's not going to really last that long. So if you can find something that's in between the first option and this second option, I find that that will be better, but for now this is what we're working with. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to start with just getting the back done. And remember, I'm leaving a lot of space. You don't have to bulk these on, and I'm only using one strand at a time. I'm also using a bricklaying method, so I'm going to show you guys that in detail in a few. So as you can see, this is super full. I really only have about 2 bundles left, and I'm gonna go ahead and use the first bundle for the back and then save the last bundle for the front. So as you can see here, I am just filling in the back and just making sure everything is covered, but it looks so full without actually having to do this. So once you get a groove, honestly, this takes no time whatsoever. It took about 4 hours to complete the entire mesh cap. I started around 4 and then I finished around 8. Put on a movie, put on a show, and just get to going. So this is how we're gonna lay our brick. So I'm gonna start with one strand in the center, and I'm going to set that aside. I'm gonna put one directly across from it with a few spaces in between. And now I'm going to go directly on top but in the center. This way, when the hair falls, it's going to be covering any empty spots. And now I'm just going to go in the center on the bottom. And as I move up and over, I'm just going to continue with this pattern, laying 2 next to each other, and then when I go down a row, I'm going to lay another in the center, and then so on and so forth. And this way you don't have to kind of bulk everything up. When it lays, everything looks nice and natural and full. So as you can see, even with all of these spaces, they still look so natural and still so full. And once you lay the hair on top, you really can't see any missing areas. So this is the last bundle, and I'm gonna go ahead and use the hair that has more of a root to fill this section in. One thing to note with this mesh cap is that it is so stretchy, so as you're filling, you might feel that you have a lot of density in one area, but as it stretches, then you're gonna see that it may not feel like you have a lot of density. But just keep in mind that you can kind of adjust this on your head to kind of like keep everything looking real natural. Super versatile, it's super easy. You do get the full effect of this like natural, gorgeous water wave. And all I did was add a little bit of mousse just to kind of define the curls, but I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to, you know, have to wait for this to dry. You can also use this unit with some leave out. As long as you're able to blend the texture with your hair, there shouldn't be any issue. I wanted some color, so that's why I made this into a headband wig, because my hair is naturally dark, but I wanted a little bit of like some fun color. So I love how this came out. It looks so gorgeous, and it's so lightweight. I especially love that it's so versatile, so I can kind of take this off if I want to and just like go ahead and live my life and like switch up my hairstyle as much as I want to. One thing I have to say about this hair is that the texture is stunning. It is so nice. Even after bleaching the hair, it's still good quality. Thank you again, EAYONHAIR, for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in, commenting and subscribing. I really appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next one.